Hey, what's up? We're back for yet another video. So many videos to do. Today's video is on bones. There are four basic types of bones. There are long bones, short bones, flat bones, and irregular bones. We're going to do one of those. Today, we are going to do this type right here. Okay, this type of bone right here. This is obviously a long bone. And it's not just a long bone because it is long. The key is it is longer than it is wide. So even the little bones in your fingers, the little phalanges, the little distal phalanx right here, that's a long bone. Even though it's kind of short, it is a long bone because of that ratio of length to width. All right, as we look at a long bone, we're going to notice several things about it. First of all, there's two basic types of bone we've got here. The bone you're looking at, the bone right here, I can knock a marker against. You can hear that. It's hard. It's good for support and protection and strength. This bone on the outside is all compact bone. This is all compact bone here. If I turn it around, this guy has been sectioned. And so you can see there is compact bone right here. You can see there's compact bone right here as well. Okay, if we look inside here, you can see that spongy bone in there. Extreme close-up of the spongy bone. Look at that spongy bone. It's got all these little struts of bone called trabeculae going in many different directions. It lets us be still supportive, but not as heavy. It provides space for storage and for manufacture of things. It is good at absorbing stress from a wide variety of directions. So we have spongy bone right there. And we have a collar of compact bone around it. Okay, so there is this collar of compact bone, and then there's this open space here. This open space, and I can show you another one right here, that open space that you see. Again, you see the compact bone, the collar of compact bone, and that open space in there is called the medullary cavity. Sometimes it's called the marrow cavity, because obviously it contains bone marrow. And in a long bone like this, the type of bone marrow that you have depends on really how old you are. If you are a kid, you're going to have red bone marrow in here. If you're an adult, you're going to have yellow bone marrow. Yellow bone marrow is filled with, of course, adipose tissue, which makes it yellow. It's got adipocytes. It's good for energy storage. Now, red bone marrow is going to be for hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis. And that's a hard word to spell. Look that up. Hematopoiesis is the production of blood cells. The most abundant blood cell you've got, the most abundant blood cell you're producing all the time is the red blood cell, which accounts for the red color and hence red bone marrow. All right, now just as an adult, I've got yellow bone marrow in here. It doesn't mean I don't have red bone marrow. I just have red bone marrow in different places. I have it in my flat bones. I have red bone marrow in my irregular bones. I have red bone marrow in certain parts of this bone. I'll have it, and we'll name this part in a second, but I've got some red bone marrow up in this top part, within the spaces of the spongy bone, adjacent to the trabeculae. All right, we're doing well here. Let's go back to our long bone. If you haven't guessed, by the way, this is a femur right here. Okay, this is a nice looking femur. This is a left femur, nice and long. A long bone has a shaft. The shaft is between my fingers here. The shaft is known as the diaphysis. The diaphysis. Then we have two rounded ends. Rounded ends are where we are going to form articulations, or form joints there. Each rounded end is known as an epiphysis. So there are two epiphyses and there is one diaphysis. So two epiphyses and one diaphysis. The epiphyses often have rounded, smooth projections. The smoothness is good for a movable joint. It's going to reduce friction. It's going to be good for avoiding any discomfort in movement. Okay, a couple other things we can see. I'm going to figure out which bone do I want to show this to you on. Maybe this one, maybe this one. Let's see here. In the epiphysis, you can see a remnant sort of a very skinny line of compact bone in the epiphysis. This is called the epiphyseal line. If I kind of tilt it that way, you can see the sort of the shadow of that line right there. It actually goes all the way across. Let's see if there's one on this one. Let's see if we can see the one on this one. Let's turn that like that. And there's one here. That's what's really, really skinny. It's right there. It's called the epiphyseal line. It is a remnant of a structure that used to exist there, a structure made of hyaline cartilage called the epiphyseal plate. You may have heard of it as a growth plate. And that's where longitudinal growth of the long bone is going to take place. So we can see that remnant, that epiphyseal line. We can see that right in there. Right in there. Okay, what else do we have on this? We did the diaphysis, we did the epiphyses, we did the medullary cavity. I don't know. I'm trying to. I'm peeking at my notes here. I don't think there's anything else that we need to do. Awesome. Great. I'll see you again. We got more videos to do. Adios.